Welcome back to another Barnes Bullet podcast. Today's going to be a learning experience one.
You're the host, Dale Evans.
I am the host, Dale Evans, but I always like to preface that we're going to do either a fun one, a learning experience. I think it's going to be a little bit of everything.
I think it's going to be a shit show.
Okay. I mean, I didn't want to say that, but sure. Now I have to put the explicit content on it because you said that. So today I've got Andy Sparks and Greg Sloan with me, and Andy's pretty excited. You know, we're filming this here in late July, and Andy has an elk hunt, which is also his first elk hunt ever.
It is my first Western hunt.
Yeah, first Western hunt. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah,
right?
I've gone whitetail hunting before, but never gone out west.
Yeah.
So-
You killed some hogs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As
Hog
well.
hunt, yep.
But this will be like first truly big game
Yeah.
hunt, if you will.
That's right.
And Western big game, which is great because obviously we are very much a Western big game
That's right.
brand.
Yep.
So Andy has kind of talked to Sloan and I quite a bit over the past couple months of like, what do I need to be doing to get ready for this elk hunt? I guess that we should also kind of just talk about like, tell us a little bit about what you know about the hunt that you're getting into. And then we can start kind of just like, what questions do you have? And I mean, the what we're trying to think of here, right, is like if you're planning your first elk hunt, you know, as a listener, hopefully you're doing it, you know, more than 2 months in advance, like Andy's doing right now.
Hopefully you're smarter than me.
Which is actually pretty good for Andy because most of the time it's like 2 weeks before. So like 2 months is actually pretty good for you.
That's it. Yeah. A lot of foresight.
Yeah. But, you know, hopefully you drew your tag in March and now you're thinking about it and you have, you know, whatever, 7 months to prep for it. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what this hunt is, how you got roped into this hunt, if you will.
Yeah. Wow. A lot more questions than answers still at this point.
Yeah.
As we've talked about it, you guys have been asking me questions that, you know, I'm like, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. So still a lot of questions, but basically what's happening is, you know, we're going to partner with Savage to do a hunt this fall in Idaho,
Yep.
about 2 hours north of Boise. They're going to be releasing some new product. You know, we'll be kind of releasing some new product, utilizing some of those new products in this hunt. So it's really kind of a new product feature hunt,
Right.
I guess you could call it. And it'll be a partnership with Barnes and Savage and Can-Am.
Right.
And Can-Am
Cool.
is going to be a part of it as well. So I don't have a lot of information on the hunt other than, hey, I show up this day in October and I got to leave by, 6 days later. I'm shooting 7 PRC, right?
Yep.
So we're going to be shooting the Vortex LR 7 PRC round. That's what I know. I mean, so
You do know like participants that are going to be there as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
because it's technically a writer's event.
That's right.
To, show off new product
Yeah.
before the actual launch of new product.
That's right. That's right. So we'll be launching the new product early in 26. So this will be, we're each sponsoring a rider to come. So I think there's a total of 6 hunters,
Yep.
As well as a couple camera people,
Yep.
right? Kind of going to be joining us. I think that's kind of the main deal. My understanding is shots are somewhere between 150 out to like 600.
Yeah.
So that's the last bit of information I got. I don't have a gear list. I don't have clothes. I don't have, I think I'm going to drive,
Right.
I don't have any of the logistics nailed down yet.
Yeah.
Let alone, I need to get to the range like we've talked about.
Right.
I got to go practice. So I'm 2 months, sounds like a long time,
Right.
But at the pace we're going and the stuff we're doing, it's going to be here before we know it.
Comes fast.
If I can get ready to go sheep hunting in 45 days, 65 days is perfectly fine for an elk hunt. How
We'll
about
see.
that?
Okay. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I believe you.
As
right?
long as you do things between now and those
Exactly.
65 days.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so that's a generic question. Like, what do I do?
That's a very open-ended question, and I think that's the reason that we're doing this
Right.
podcast, right?
So now what?
So, I mean, I guess one is you do know, quote, the area. You know the outfitter. We're just not saying it, right?
Yeah.
So you know like where you're going.
Yeah.
I would also say because Can-Am is going to be there, right? It's not going to be your typical DIY public land hunt, right? Where you basically park at a trailhead and start hiking.
Yeah, but I don't know what a typical day will look like. Like, I don't know if we're going to take, vehicles around. I don't know how much we'll be hiking.
Right.
Like, I don't know any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you're just going to be like riding around Can-Am hoping to shoot.
Well, I hope not, right? I mean,
Yeah, like
I
a
hope
6-point
not to
bull
some
off
extent.
the side of the Can-Am type of thing. I don't think
Yeah.
you're going to be doing that by no means.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't think that you should expect 12 to 15 mile days in
Yeah.
the mountains type of thing, right? It's
Right.
going to be probably more of like, hey, let's drive up to this, the backside of this hillside. We kind of walk over the top
Yeah.
and like check down in this meadow. If nothing's there, we're going to go back and then we're going to go ride another 2 miles and check another area or bugle or whatever, right? Because
Yeah.
I guess we should also talk about that. It's kind of a mid-October hunt
Yeah,
as
mid
well,
to late,
right?
mid to late, yeah.
So you're kind of on that tail end of the rut
Right.
time frame for elk. So I think that you potentially could get some bugles, right? But more than likely, it's going back to like a feed pattern type of hunt.
Okay.
So like I try to look at that right timeline of when that hunt's going to occur. So then you can kind of start to think about your hunting tactics for how you're trying to find those animals or hunt those animals.
Yeah. Have either of you hunted elk in Idaho before?
I have not in Idaho.
I've filmed hunts in Idaho where other people were hunting,
Okay.
but I do believe that was mostly September.
Okay. Okay. So as far as knowledge on elk hunting in Idaho, we're all on the same page.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of pretty universal.
I know.
Right.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think, but like you brought up, like one advantage obviously you have is you're going with an outfitter.
Yeah.
If you're a listener and you're doing a do yourself, you're obviously gonna be doing e-scouting right now, especially if you're traveling. If
Right.
you're a guy that's Midwest or back east and you're gonna come out west, or even if you're out west, like if I'm gonna go hunt Colorado, I don't have the time or resources to make 4 trips out there in the summer for scouting. So you're not gonna have to worry about some of those things like e-scouting and the logistics of where am I going to camp? Am I camping from the truck? Am I taking a trailer? Am I tenting it? Am I backpacking?
Yeah.
Or are we just going to go super
Food.
lightweight food?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff logistically is removed, which
Yeah.
is an advantage, especially where you're
Yeah.
down to pretty limited
Yeah.
time.
Which is really nice because if I had to think about all that, I probably might have passed, right? Like it just would have been totally overwhelming. So like a lot of the logistics being handled is very
Yeah.
nice.
And I think that's where you can focus more on, general elk hunting, the gear. Yeah, you want to go into it with the right equipment, boots, clothing, optics, gun,
Yeah.
and obviously we want to make sure you're prepped and ready. We can talk more about that with practicing,
Yeah.
range time.
Well, let's get into the gear
confidence.
list, right? Let's talk about gear, right? So I don't have any.
You do have some.
I have some boots, right? I got a pair of boots.
You have a pair of crispy boots.
Yeah.
Right.
You got
That you
good
bought
boots.
last year.
Yeah. I think they're crispy.
I'm almost positive
They're
they
either
are.
crispy or Danner. But like I've worn them. I like them, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
You've broken them in.
yeah,
Right.
slightly. Yeah.
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 But still need some more break in, like actual mountain break in, because you've only done essentially like Midwest, like whitetail
That's right.
or hog hunts and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I've worn them around, even like before the whitetail hunt, like just on hikes with my kids and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I've done some of that. So boots, like
Yeah, you have a little bit of clothing gear, but again, it's more whitetail centric type
Right.
of clothing
Yeah.
versus what I would call like Western big game or
Yeah.
technical clothing.
So yeah, I mean that's a question, right? Is there when I go look for pants, right, or a jacket, like what kind of features am I looking for?
Mid-October, Idaho. I mean, you almost have to plan for everything.
Right.
Layering's obviously important. Stuff that's breathable. Stuff that's going to dry quickly, be waterproof. but I mean, it's not going to be a late December hunt. You're not going to be negative temperatures.
Right.
You know, you're going to want to plan for potential of rain, potential of snow. But reality is, it could be 75 degrees during the daytime.
Yeah.
You know, you might be 30s and 40s at night.
Yeah.
So
And
there's-
also, to be 100% honest, right, you're hunting with an outfitter and you're using these Can-Ams. Like, if you get in a blizzard, like, you're going to probably be back at the lodge within an hour.
God, you guys are making me feel so soft.
I'm just being honest with you, right? Like,
Right.
So I think that having a soft shell jacket is a good thing to have.
Okay.
Just in case it does start to rain or it does start to snow
Yeah.
a little bit, you can throw that
Yeah.
on really quick,
So-
at least to kind of like help yourself.
Yeah. So long underwear, right?
Yeah.
Got to have it.
Yep.
Pants, right? Something breathable.
Probably a light pant and a heavier pant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're going hunting for 6 days, like how many pairs? Like one?
if you're
One of
backpacking
each.
in, you're bringing one
Yeah.
pair.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if you're truck camping, you're going out day hikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be a little more.
Yeah, I mean,
options. And,
weight isn't really doesn't matter, right? When
right.
you're at a lodge or truck camping
Yeah.
or something like that, because you know you're going to get back to that truck, and
Yeah.
you know it doesn't matter how much
Right.
your bag weighs at the time.
Do you guys ever do like zip off pants, or do you just go standard pants?
right now I've got some of the Kings like XKG. They have like a zipper side
The
to add
vents.
to vents.
Yeah.
But I've not gone like full zip
Okay.
off.
And like with the pants, I mean, what kind of features? Like, do you do like cargo pockets? Like, is it just kind of,
No, I mean,
does it matter? What
most-
color?
I like color doesn't matter for what
Okay.
you're doing. It really
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, the trends anymore for Western Indian and everything is honestly more solids.
Yeah.
You'll probably, everyone's noticed that. Camos are still a thing, but really it's more and more solid colors.
Okay.
which, for example, I think that you have a pair of like Sitka mountain pants.
Yeah, I
Right.
have Sitka.
So,
I
like-
have Sitka pants and Kuiu pants.
Yeah. So like both of those will probably be like perfectly fine for what you're doing, right?
Okay.
I think you also have like a pair of like super heavy Sitka pants or a bib, right? That like we
do,
got you
yeah.
for that whitetail
That's
hunt
right.
last year.
Yeah.
So like you don't want to bring that,
Okay.
right?
Bring it. Potentially. Don't bring it.
I would not bring it. I think
Okay.
that like your Kuiu pants, because you probably have like a lighter pair of Kuiu pants, and then those mountain pants are going to be more than enough. And then if you start to get cold,
Yeah.
then you would just throw your long underwear
Okay.
And
Yeah, yeah.
underneath.
good socks.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
like-
like hike, just like standard.
Yeah, like merino wool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good socks.
I'm
Even some
very
light
much
and
like a
some-
darn tough,
Yeah.
like sock guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
It just makes me laugh because I feel like you know my wardrobe obviously better than I do.
I just pay attention, and I also know what I basically like ordered you for these hunts.
That's right. That's right. Makes me laugh. Yeah. Okay. So pants, I think sounds like I'm set. I mean, long underwear, I just, I ski a lot,
Yeah.
right? So I think I'm set there. Probably need some new socks. What about tops, right? Like base layer. Obviously, like you could do the long sleeve, long underwear, right?
I like having a pretty breathable base layer top that's long sleeve, but fairly lightweight.
Yeah.
Just because if it gets really hot, you can go all the way down to that.
Yeah.
But it is nice, you can put on whether it's a hoodie or like a soft shell, if you even go all the way up to like a big puffy,
Yeah.
if you're really cold.
Okay. And then just like a lightweight, like rain jacket, I assume, right? Just
Well,
something-
again, if you had like a soft shell,
Yeah.
that could like basically double as a
Right.
rain jacket as well as like a windproof
Okay.
jacket as well. So that's why I think like a soft shell makes more sense rather than saying like I want like a heavyweight jacket and a rain jacket. Because now,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a lot of rain jackets don't weigh a lot.
Right.
I'm also very much in the mindset of like a backpack hunter because that's
Yeah.
most of the things that I do. So like I'm like, how can I condense those things down where
Yeah.
I can do one thing for both?
Okay. Okay. All right. I think that makes sense. Then you've got, hat, right? I'll have a beanie. I'll have a hat, sunglasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. What about gloves?
So I
bring
always
some.
like to have kind of a liner glove, right? Which is just like a merino wool or
Okay.
something like that, like liner glove for when you're hiking around, when you're getting kind of hot. Again, this is all temperature dependent, right? If
Right.
it's 60 degrees, like that's going to be perfectly
Yeah.
fine. It might be 40 degrees in the morning. It's
Yeah.
still going to kind of knock the chill off. You're going to be hiking, so you're going to warm up. I'm very much a wool, like fingerless,
half
like
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like half
Okay.
finger glove guy. I think that kind of does pretty well for me personally up until about 20, 25 degrees. And then like the tips of my fingers really start to get cold. And then I'll go to like, if I'm starting to get in that super cold weather, right, I've got these gloves that are essentially like a puffy jacket under, like that you go into, and then it has like an outer shell that goes over the top of that for like rain protection, snow protection, anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the thing I'm most worried about is not having a lot of this. I'm like, okay, I got to go get it, but I don't want to be caught up there with something that I need that I don't have.
Right.
You know, I guess that's what makes me the most nervous.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to overpack, like
Right.
just to be honest, because it's the first time of doing it, and
Yeah.
assuming that you're going to drive and
Yeah.
it's only a 6-hour drive, right? It's easy enough for you just to be like, well, I'm just going to throw everything in the
right.
kitchen sink into my truck, and go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. And then, so we talk about soft shell, you know, layers. Obviously, layering is good. What other kind of gear? What accessories?
Yeah,
I've
so-
got a nice pack, I think.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you have like a mystery ranch, like actual,
Like a backpack.
Well, you have a
hunting
backpack,
pack.
but you have like a hunting pack
Right.
that has a frame in it, right? A meat shelf in it.
Yeah.
And you're going to want that, again, granted, you've got the Can-Am, it's an outfitter hunt. More than likely, you're going to be able to basically drive to that elk unless you kill it into some weird spot.
Just don't bring my big bright blue Yeti laptop
Yeah,
bag.
don't bring that. And I would also say like you also have that other backpack. What is it, like the Treehouse or whatever from Mystery Ranch? Like that's not the pack for this, right? Like you're gonna
bigger
want
one.
that. I wish I remembered what model you have, but essentially it's like a Metcalf or something like that, right? Like I'm a Stone Glacier guy. I've run their packs for years, and that's just what I do. But essentially, you have the same thing. It's just a different brand.
Yeah. Okay. What about?
You're gonna
I've got
want
a hunting knife.
Yeah.
Right? I've got one of those.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think you
personally,
like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that I would have a different hunting knife, right? Like either a replaceable blade or just a lighter weight one, right? If I recall correctly, it's a pretty heavy hunting knife, if you want to call it that.
Okay. So like what?
It more looks like a decoration piece than.
I might have to see this. I don't know what you're talking about, but
I've got one in my office. I'll show you after this.
Yep, that's exactly what I was about to say. He's got one in his office, so you'll see.
They're really nice. It's actually, I'll do a little plug. They come from a group out of Victor, Idaho called New West Knife Works, and they're actually really famous for like their culinary knives and stuff like that. But I had a college roommate of mine used to basically run their org, and so he hooked us up with some branded stuff, but really high end knives. Probably more on the culinary scene.
Yeah, collector's edition type of knife.
Yeah.
Not a I'm gonna hike around with this thing in my pack type of knife.
Wow.
Personally.
I would, but I don't know any different.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
So, I would have like a nice Benchmade or Gerber or something like that, right? Like, again, you could either go replaceable blade, which I'm personally not really a fan because I think that they break, like a Havalon or something like that when you're trying to do the dirty work on an elk.
Okay.
Versus having like a nice, either folder. Again, I
Like,
don't
would you
know.
do fixed blade?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like either a folder or a fixed blade. I think that I've kind of gone more to fixed blade because I think that folders can get grubby in them and they'll actually close on you at times, where a fixed blade's not going to do that.
Right.
And usually the blade's a little bit stronger.
Yeah, the fixed blade to me, just holding them, right? The fixed blade just feels more substantial.
Yeah, I think, like I said, a fixed blade's probably the best. You don't need anything crazy big. Again, you're going to have help. You're going to have support. I mean, if you're trying to do caping, that's where I do like a Havalon replaceable.
Yeah.
Just for the fine detail work. They do break, but they're crazy sharp, and you can just pop a new blade on.
Yeah.
Outdoor edge stuff, I've used those with the replaceable. But I also carry fixed as well,
Yeah.
with a sharpener.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with. I mean, most of the time I have a folding and a fixed blade like in my pack.
Oh, so you bring two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Like just as a backup, just in case?
As a backup, I mean, normally I always have like a fixed blade a folder like in my pocket that I just always have a smaller knife. And then I have like my actual like skinning knife, which is a larger like fixed blade.
Okay. What other
Headlamp.
Okay.
You're going to want that, right?
Got one of those.
With extra batteries or a battery pack to charge it.
Is anyone writing this down?
You have
No.
to re-listen to this
Yeah.
and then write it down.
Right. I'm just trying to force you to like have to listen to this multiple times so I get more streams.
Stop, rewind. What did he say?
How 8,000 people listen to this. Oh, weird. 7,000 are from the one person.
Yeah. It's got a weird IP address. The great thing is I think this actually will do an actual like transcript of it. So
cool.
so we essentially would have it all written down if we wanted
Good.
it.
Good. All right. So headlamp.
Anyway, yeah, headlamp.
Let me ask about headlamps. So I've had mine for probably 20 years, if
So
not
it sounds
more.
like you need a new one.
No, I don't think so. Like it works really well, but it's battery powered, right?
Yep.
And not rechargeable. What do you guys do?
I've done rechargeable for a long time, and
Okay.
I've actually, again, because I'm kind of getting ready for my hunting season, I just went and bought like 2 cheapo Amazon ones
Yeah.
that are 15,000 lumen or something, like crazy bright, and I went to battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Because
just seems so easy.
I've had more often. Here's my thing. When you have them in your pack and you're rustling around and all that, you'll turn them on and you don't even know they're
Right.
on. And then you leave them overnight. And then the next morning you go to grab it to walk into your tree stand or walk in the dark and it doesn't freaking work.
Yeah.
And now you're like, well, what the hell do I do?
Yeah, I can't recharge it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I've gone to battery. And it's like most of the time, they run off of AAAs, right? So it's 3 AAAs. It's
Yeah.
not that much more
Right.
weight to just throw it in there.
Yeah, an extra
I would
set.
rather just do that.
Yeah. What do you do?
Battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I usually have an extra in the pack.
Yeah.
Just never know.
Do you guys bring, it's another question. Do you bring like a solar charger with you? Do you
I
do you pack
have,
that?
depending what you're doing. I mean, like you said, are you packing in? You're going to be using a phone, any other sort of electronics, GPS, is it tied to, on the shooting side, you need a ballistic app, those kind of things. So that's where I would recommend some sort of either solar or like a battery pack.
Yeah. External battery.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
to me, it's all where I am. Like, if I'm in the lower 48, like let's say Wyoming or Montana or something like that, I know that I'm probably going to get sun pretty good, so I could bring a solar
Yeah.
panel. But like, if I'm in Alaska, most of the time it's overcast, it's rainy, so like a solar panel's not going to do crap for me.
Yeah.
So when I did like my moose hunt, that was 11 days. I had 2 battery packs
Okay.
because I know that I can charge my phone 4 to 5 times off of each one.
Yeah.
So I at least have 10 charges
Yeah.
for the just in case.
Yeah.
And if one craps the bed because it gets wet or something like that,
you have
like
another.
I've got a second.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm doing the same thing with the sheep hunt, with the caribou hunt, like all that stuff this year.
Yeah.
I've got 2 battery packs. I've got one that's like a 25,000 whatever millihertz or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I've got another one that's like 10,000, so that I can still get 4 charges off of that 10,000.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys do anything with like smartwatches?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I've got, I always run a Garmin, whatever it is, Tactical Instinct 2.
Okay.
And what I love about this one, because I had the Instinct 1, I could only get like 20 days of battery power.
Yeah.
Well, that's 20 days if you're just doing like kind of like your day to day.
Right.
But when you're hiking a lot, it actually
Yeah.
uses more.
That's right.
And granted, like I'm not really doing, I mean, I have ballistics and stuff on there, but I use an app on my phone.
Okay.
For that. But what I like about the solar is like it actually gets way longer, 40 days. For example, I go back to that moose hunt. My watch died on that moose hunt and I
Okay.
couldn't charge it.
Yeah.
Right. It died with like 2 days left.
Oh.
So this one's got like 40 and I mean, it normally goes like 48 if I can just get a little bit of sun to
Okay.
it.
Okay. What?
But I'm not going to wear like your,
This
cool.
is a Phoenix 8.
Okay. So you should be fine
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I think this will
But
be
like
okay.
if you had like an Apple Watch,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. No,
it's
that would never
essentially
last. Yeah.
worthless.
Yeah. No, this lasts like a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it
even-
solar as well?
No.
Okay.
I did not get the solar one. I went cheapo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went super cheapo.
Yeah.
That one's way more expensive than this thing.
Okay. Spotting scope, right? Probably need one of those. I don't have one. We are working with Loophole,
Right.
right, on this. So I know there will be some gear involved. I don't know what it is.
I mean,
Right.
from what I understand, again, because I think I've paid attention more than you have in class for learning about this hunt.
I agree.
You're getting a scope and binos for it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, like I've never used. Well, I've used binoculars, right? So I know how to use those. But
Yeah.
like spotting scope and stuff. Like, what about like the adapter for your phone? right? What kind of tripod do I need to bring?
It really, like, for what you're doing, I don't think you need to worry about that.
I don't think you need a spotter for this hunt.
I mean, if you're a guy, if you're a listener and you're going out to hunt elk for the first time and it's a do-yourself, then absolutely you're going to want a spotting scope.
Okay.
I mean, you could argue, depending how you're hunting, if it's a full rut hunt and you're archery hunting and you're in thick timber, you don't need a spotting scope.
Right.
I mean, if it's you're rifle hunting elk late season and you're hunting big open canyons, you want a spotting scope.
Yeah.
It's just going to come down to where you're hunting, the season, what, if it's archery, if it's rifle, if it's rut, if it's post rut. But for what you're doing on this one, I don't think it's something you need to worry about.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, most of the time with like elk stuff, again, unless you're hunting super open country and you're trying to spot them from 3 miles away or something, and you're trying to figure out, is that just a group of cows or is it is there a couple bulls in there or something? Maybe you want a spotter. Most of the time, I don't run one when I'm doing like a rifle hunt.
Okay.
Unless it's like an antelope hunt, but like, let's just say elk hunt, like, I don't run it because I'm usually running 12X binos. And then I also have a 18 to 20 power scope that I can essentially use as my spotter if needed.
Yeah. I think the other fear, concern that I have with this is like, get all this gear, right? Everybody's scrambling to get all their new products done, all their stuff put together, right? And shipped out. And like, I'm going to get it right before the hunt and I'm going to show up there and I'm going to be like, I don't know how to use it. Right? Now what? And like when I get stuff here, when we have stuff here, I've got you guys like to help me.
Yeah.
Right. And like there's a level of comfort, right? With like, Sloan, I don't know what to do. Right. Help me with this, or Dale.
Yeah.
We're going to get to Idaho and I'm going to be with like, counterparts at different companies and writers. And I'm like, I know you guys got to teach me how to do this stuff. Right. Like it's, luckily I'm so ignorant in all this that I'm okay with just saying that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to detract from their experience either, right? I don't want them to be like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is painful.
And making the Barnes brand look bad.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think I'd overthink it.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the stuff is fairly basic. There's an outfitter, you know, a lot of the equipment, there's going to be other support, with glassing and judging and, I mean, you've done enough shooting, obviously we want to talk about the prep for shooting, and there's a whole lot more there. But you're not brand new to guns. You're not brand new to shooting. I mean, basic operation on other equipment. I think you're super capable. Yeah,
in the whitetail hunt that we did last fall, right? We went with John Snow and Rochelle Schrute. They were fantastic. They loved that it was my first time. Like they absolutely enjoyed that, I think, or at least they told me they did, right? So. It was really cool. That was a really awesome experience, and they enjoyed when I got my buck, and I think that was a lot of fun. And but every now and then something kind of crazy happens, right? Like going up in the tree stand without the safety harness. Right? Rochelle was like, I can't believe you did that.
Right.
And I was like, well, I didn't know I was supposed to. And I just climbed up this tree. Right. She's like, I did it too. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I'm not like completely.
One thing that I want to go back to optics real quick that we didn't talk about is a rangefinder.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Like that is a kind of a must have.
Okay.
Right. Again, granted, I would assume that either Loophole is going to give you a rangefinder, or obviously that your outfitter, right, your guide is going to have a rangefinder that can give you a good range on the animal when it's time for you to take it.
Okay.
I would bring one. If it was me going, I'd still bring my own.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the goal, right, is to do this. I feel like I'm being like, led around with handlers, right? Like President Biden, like walking around with all this little help, right? But like the goal is eventually to turn this into like, obviously a hobby, right? And I go do this on my own. Like I'd like to have all the right gear.
I think kind of, you brought up earlier with people helping and you said, they seemed like they enjoyed it. I don't think it's going to bother people. I think it's your attitude. Like if you go into it, just you're being honest, you're being upfront, and you're not trying to pretend to be something you're not. That's where I think you could get people maybe frustrated.
Yeah,
right.
Is it's more the opposite. You're trying to act like you know everything. You're not willing to take advice. You're not willing to listen.
Yeah.
You come at it from a little more of like a humble, hey, I'm here to learn and absorb. I mean, people are usually in those situations, I think, more willing to like. They appreciate that and they want to help out. They want to teach. They want to educate.
Well, and I will say that like knowing the rider that you have that's going to be paired with you, like great, because she's killed a ton of elk.
Yeah.
She's been in the industry for a long time, right? Like she really knows her shit. She's done Alaska stuff, right? She's done stuff all over the country.
Right.
Like you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and that she's a very like cooperative, like helpful person. So
Yeah.
you'll be good to
Yeah,
go.
and everybody knows, right? I mean, when Beth, who's the VP of marketing over at Savage, kind of talked to me about this hunt last fall, I was like, I've never done this before, and she's like, yeah, it'll be fine, right? Like they know what they've gotten themselves into
Right.
a little bit, so
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be okay.
Well, let's talk about a little bit. I know we can't talk about the gun.
Yeah.
Right. But the gun hasn't showed up, and
Right.
and a lot of people feel that like if they're gonna get a new gun and take it on a hunt, right? They want 6 months of practice, let's just say.
Yeah,
Or 3 months of practice
Yeah.
even. And here there's a pretty good chance that like
couple
the
weeks.
gun, the optics, right, like doesn't show up until 2 weeks prior
Right.
to the hunt,
Right.
October 1st, right? So now you're gonna have to get this gun sighted in. You're gonna have to get it broken, work up your dope, all that type of stuff. Granted, we have a really good ballistics lab that
Yeah.
can probably do a lot of that for you.
I know a guy.
But with that, I mean, again, we have 2 months, and we've kind of talked about it offline, but I think it's just trigger time, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter that you're shooting 7 PRC, right? But like, go down in the lab and shoot a 243, go shoot a 6.5 Creedmoor, go shoot a 300 Rum,
Yeah.
right? So you're kind of having all of those different recoil, right?
Yeah.
Like you're starting to get that because, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that you shot a lot of like big magnums.
No.
Right? You own a 243, you own a 6.5 Creed.
Yeah,
You will own a 7 PRC.
Yeah.
But you haven't really shot a lot of those.
No.
So I don't want you to, and I'm assuming again that you're probably going to shoot suppressed.
yeah. I'm civilized.
Yeah. So, I think that, but I still think it's important to like shoot a little bit of everything over the next 2 months. That way that when you go and like pick up this new gun, like it doesn't matter if it's a Browning, a Weatherby, a Savage, a Kimber, whatever, right? Like when you pick it up, it's just another gun
Right.
at your shoulder rather than like, man, this thing feels really weird and I don't feel comfortable with it. And
Yeah.
then in the moment,
Yeah.
that's more on your mind rather than, making a good, clean shot.
Yeah, I have, and candidly, I have not shot enough. Right, I mean, between here and Sierra, I've shot obviously, but definitely not enough. The other thing that's always a challenge for me is I'm left-handed and I shoot right-handed, right, because I'm right eye dominant. So like, that's still, I have not shot enough to the point where like that's normal still, right? Like that's still a really unnatural
That
feeling
it feels
for me.
that it feels comfortable on your right
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Right,
Okay.
right. So like there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Before this.
And that's where, like what Dell said, I think it's just the range time. We just
Yeah.
need to dedicate, we've talked about this going out. I'm happy to take you, go out to the range locally,
Yeah.
shoot off the bench, get comfortable, bring your 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yep.
Bring your 243. We can bring a 7 PRC from the lab.
Yeah.
Just get that trigger time. And then obviously when you get your gun here, we get it dialed in, we'll get it set up. We'll also spend range time
Yeah.
with that. But it's just start shooting off the bench, get it dialed in, get into some positional shooting, shoot off a bipod, shoot off a tripod, shoot off your backpack, shoot kneeling,
Yeah.
shoot sitting, shoot prone. And we'll do that at the range.
Is there a number, like my mind always goes to like there's a way to like hit, right? There's a number that I should aspire to hit in terms of shots, right?
Like total number of rounds
like,
between now and,
like how
and
much should
October
I shoot?
1st.
Yeah, like just saying shooting as much as you can, like that's not going to help me.
I don't know that you could really put a number, but like I don't think you need to overdo it. Like I don't think you need to go.
Like, do I need to go put 1,000 rounds downrange?
No, and I don't think you need to go to the range and spend 10 hours.
Yeah.
I think it's more like go an hour or two at the range. Make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
In a session. The goal shouldn't be I need to get 100 rounds down today.
Yeah.
It should be we're going to make every round count. We're going to
Yeah.
think about every round. We're going to get data from every round. We're
Yeah.
going to learn from every round. And even if it's only 20 rounds in
Yeah.
a session, 40 rounds in a session tops, that's valuable.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn from that each time.
So how do you make a range session valuable?
It comes down to what your objectives are. For you, especially right now, the goal is just experience. It's just trigger time. You know, I think while we are there with your 6.5 Creedmoor, we're going to make sure we're zeroed. We're going to make sure it's dialed in. We're going to engage some targets at further distances.
Yep.
But our goal at that point is not going to be, hey, I need to hit a still play to 800 yards.
Yeah.
I need to hit 1,000 yards. It's going to be hunting ranges. So we're going to focus from 100 to 600 yards.
Yeah.
And those are the targets we're going to focus on. And again, we're going to start from the bench, make sure you're comfortable, make sure everything's dialed in, and then we're going to move to positional shooting.
Okay.
And that's how we get some value out of it.
Yeah.
One, we're starting with a zeroed verified system.
Yeah.
Once we verified the data downrange, then we're focusing on form. You know, we're focusing on trigger pull. We're focusing on target acquisition. You know, and that's a lot of it. You can even spend time at home with just dry firing, with just finding. You know, you pull your bolt out, make sure your chamber's empty, pull your bolt out completely, and on different powers of your scope, low power, medium power, you know, practice finding a target in your scope. You know, I see a lot of new hunters and shooters. That's one of the biggest challenges. Is, you know, somebody, whether it's a friend hunting with you or if it is a guide or outfitter, you know, you now have an elk at 400 yards, but you can't see it and you can't find it in your scope. And he's trying to help bring you to that animal, and just getting a clear sight picture and being able to find that animal in your scope and getting comfortable and getting steady.
Yeah.
You know, that's almost as much of the focus as anything else.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. I mean, my background, I grew up fly fishing. I was a guide, and I've kind of gone around the world to different places fishing. And I think the hardest place I've ever fished is New Zealand. And like the brown trout in New Zealand blend into the rocky bottom of the river, totally crystal clear river. It's amazing. But like being out there and trying to find the fish, like if you're with a spotter, right? And they're like, okay, you see that white rock. Now come like 2 feet in and go 3 rows of rocks over, right? Like, so it's just like, it's interesting how all of that kind of ties together.
Right. And I think it's staying calm in those scenarios too, both as the shooter or hunter or as the guide or the spotter.
Yeah.
You know, it's being able to keep a cool head. And because, you know, we've all been there. It's like, it's right there. It's in front of you. How do you not see it? See that big open hillside and that giant brown spot? That's the elk.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I don't see it. You know, find that tree. Okay, see this ridge line. Come over here. See those white rocks, you know. And so, but I think it's just staying calm, being able to communicate, keep a cool head in the moment.
Yeah, in the whitetail blind, I was with Jim Bruno, our CEO. He was with me the first day, and he had to tell me multiple times, like, stop shaking. Like, you just have to calm down. Like, take a breath. Stop shaking. Right, you're gonna be okay. So I think, like, just learning some of that, because like I saw the first buck, and I was like, you know, like I think I like dropped my binos, and like, you know, obviously like everything went to hell, but like he was like, just relax.
Well, and I mean, I think that's a really good point to talk about, right? Is because you were in a blind on almost everything. Pretty sure everything that you've killed so far, right? You've like either you've been in a blind or something like that.
Yep.
Now you're going to be in the middle of nowhere, right? A sage flat, a hillside, whatever timbered type of area. Now you have to like figure out your shooting position, and that's where I think that, you know, what Greg was kind of alluding to with like getting into positions is really important, right? Because you've never shot like that.
Right.
So now you have to be able to get into a comfortable shooting position and a very stable shooting position to potentially take this, let's just say it's 400 yards, right? Shooting off of the side of a tree or over the top of a rock or even off your pack in the prone position, if you haven't done that, let's just call it 100 times, like it's gonna feel uncomfortable. Right. So now it's like, how can I get comfortable as quickly as possible in this very chaotic moment of like trying to kill your first elk? Right. Of like doing that and then being able to make a good clean shot. Right. Like that's what it's all about. Like, and if you don't feel comfortable, like don't be scared to tell your person like, I can't get steady. Right.
Yeah. I mean, so what I'm hearing is like, you know, it's reality. It's like I'm behind the ball, right? Like I have to now make a concerted effort and schedule training and like focus on preparing for this hunt. Like it's not just something you show up to. Like as ignorant as that probably sounds.
And I think that we're talking about training, but like we're talking about gun training. We haven't even started to talk about like the physical side of things, right?
Yeah. Have you seen me?
I mean, I know that you are an absolute physical specimen for the 40-year-old dad that you are.
That's right. He just blew his back out bike riding.
Right. Yeah, literally
I
just
know the
riding
feeling.
down a trail.
with a 6-year-old. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait till you try to follow your boy on a mountain bike and he hits a jump and you tell yourself you can do it too.
Yeah.
And then you crash and break your ribs.
Yeah.
That was me last summer.
I do it with skiing all the time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could do a 360 tail grab.
Why not?
No, I can't.
And then the doctor says, very seriously, like, you're too old for this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Apparently, again, going back to Bruno's like, when he calls him, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, you're now 40 years old. And when he told me that, I was like, I'm older than the both of you guys. And I'm like, what the hell is Bruno talking about? You're 40 years old.
Yeah, he's like, you got to stop doing extreme stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I was
this is
riding a
not-
mountain bike
Right.
down a gravel
Yeah.
trail.
Yeah, dirt trail with my 6-year-old who was doing just fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
So physical training, right? Okay, so we'll go from the trigger pull and the gun training, right? We got to spend time to do
Right.
that. So,
Yeah.
maybe carve out, an hour here, an hour there.
Yeah, and I
over
think
the
it's
next
just like
couple-
we've already talked about.
couple
You got to
months.
get some gear.
Yeah.
We've recognized that you don't have to worry about where we're hunting. The e-scouting, that's all taken care of. So
Right.
really, it's get the gear, spend the time at the range, make sure we're dialed in, and the physical side.
Yeah.
You have a busy schedule.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. You've got a family. You've got a job that takes you all over the place. You're just gonna have to look at your schedule from now and then and say, okay, how many days can I actually carve out?
Yeah.
Is that 3 range sessions? Is it 5 range sessions? Is it once a week? I don't know what your schedule is.
Yeah.
But whatever that is, we'll just make the most out of that time.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
and I think that, again, we've kind of talked about the soft line. It's like, if you could figure out a way to get to the actual range, not the underground
Right.
range, right? Like every 2 weeks and get a box to 2 boxes of ammo, you can do that in an hour and a half,
Yeah.
right? So like, can you carve off an hour and a half every 2 weeks to do it, to at least get to a outdoor range that you can shoot further, that you can shoot different
Yeah.
positions and all that. And then in the meantime, right, in that week in between every single one of those, like it doesn't take you much to go from your office
just
to the
downstairs.
underground range,
Yeah.
even if you just pull the trigger 10 times,
Right.
right? And making 10 precise, like perfect trigger pulls,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Like I think that's important. And that right there, I mean, you're going to end up getting, like, to be honest, right? If you think about it, you have what, 4 to 5 times of range time of
Yeah.
20 to 40 rounds there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's over 150 rounds, give or take.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get some range time here. I mean, before long, you've got 300 rounds
Yeah.
downrange between now and then.
Yeah.
Right. And we've shot before.
Yeah.
We've been up to like the North Springs range when you first got your Creedmoor.
Yeah.
And you were hitting, good 0 at 100 yards. You walked it out on still 200 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards, 500 yards. You were making impacts every time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you've even gained experience since that first
Right.
range trip
Right.
with that gun. So don't overthink it either. I mean, this really is dial in the equipment and just build confidence.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's also important to note whether it's you or a listener or somebody who's come, a new hunter or even experienced hunter. Like we have to be realistic with our capabilities too.
Yeah.
And be willing, like Dale mentioned, if it comes down to it, you're not steady, you're not ready, you feel rushed, you're not comfortable on the shot, then you don't take the shot.
Right.
And you don't need to take that 700-yard shot if it's out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And we'll learn what that is at the range by your hit percentage.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to identify, okay, Andy, you're going to keep it within 500 yards, or
Yeah.
you're going to keep it within 300 yards.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
you know what, you're nailing everything from you to 700 yards, and we know that the 7 PRC with the 160 grain is capable of that. If everything's right, the wind's calm,
Yeah.
you've got time, you're dry firing, the elk's there, it's not this rush thing. In the moment, you got to make that judgment call, obviously, as a hunter. But don't be afraid for any of us to just say, you know what, it's not right. We're not taking the
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah. The goal is to go shoot an elk, right? The goal is not to go shoot an elk at 800 yards.
Right.
Right. I'm less interested in that.
Well, and I
want
think
an
that
elk.
we've kind of talked about it on a previous podcast, right? Like, let's be honest. If the elk's at 800 yards, more than likely you can cut 200 to 400 yards off
Right.
of that, as long as there's not this huge, crazy canyon in
Right.
between you and the elk and all that. So, like, getting to 400 really isn't that hard on
Yeah.
most animals.
And I
Yeah.
think that's a good number to kind of to hold that 400, 450 yards
Yeah.
on elk and in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
All right.
physical training.
Physical training.
Yeah. Aside from my
Okay.
unmatched prowess.
Tell me what you have been doing, and then we'll tell you what you should be doing.
So, well, the last 2 weeks, right, have been rough, seriously, with the back. So I haven't really done a whole lot aside from just stretching and walking,
Right.
like flat road walking. So, but before that, it was, you know, I do a lot of like, you know, high intensity stuff like hit workouts and that kind of thing. And then obviously, you know, I hike, I mountain bike, but I'm not like, you know, carrying a 40-pound pack up a mountain. You know, I'm not like training like you are for your mountain goat hunt or your sheep hunt, right? So that's kind of what I've been doing, mostly like indoor treadmill stuff, and then like hiking with my kids.
So the first thing I ask is like when you go hiking with your kids or with the family, right? Like what shoes are you wearing?
Just hiking shoes, like normal, like the,
Sneakers, right?
No,
Or,
I mean,
or something
yeah,
like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
They're
a
Solomon
hiking sneaker,
trail
right?
running shoes. Yeah.
Instead of like an easy thing that you could
My
be doing
Crispies.
is just wearing your Crispies.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because you're just breaking them in every time.
Yeah.
And that would be the first thing I would say is that I always kind of like relate it back to like archery hunting, for example, right? If you haven't pulled your bow back in 6-9 months and you go try to shoot 50 shots with your bow,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're like, damn, like
Sore.
you're like I haven't messed with that muscle, even though I've been in the gym, whatever, 4 times a week for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
I haven't used really that muscle exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of think of that like you can't feel what mountain miles are until you actually just go do mountain miles.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy. Like, I don't think that you need to go carry 40 pounds on your back, right? If you want to just put your backpack on so you start to get it comfortable on your back and you just kind of get that feeling because it's going to rub a little differently, right? Like on like your love handles
Your
or,
hips,
or, you know, your hips or whatever.
Yeah.
So like just getting that comfortable and then just putting your boots on and then figuring out because you might have some hot spots, but you'll be able to kind of like break them in, if you will, even further and kind of like work that out.
Okay.
So I think that's really important to start doing that. And again, I think that if it's once a week, it's once a week, right? Like that's fine. If it's on Saturday or Sunday, whenever you guys have time to be able to do that with your family, it's like, I'm just going to go do 3 miles. You don't have to go do 10, 12, 15, right? It's just like do 3.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it every day or every other day like I've been doing. It's just not feasible, one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you really have to carve that out, but also like it's just not necessary for the hunt that you're doing. Now, I will say with that, you have this hunt in October, and then in November we are supposed to be going to Kodiak Island in Alaska.
Grenda needs to turn this off. Right. Like Grenda, if you're listening, you need to turn it off right now before we go any further on
And
this topic.
this is what I will tell you. Let's just call you this elk hunt that you're going at, right? Like if the most extreme thing is a sheep hunt, right, in Alaska, and that's 100, that Kodiak hunt's probably going to be like in that 80, 85 range.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because
And this is like 20.
I was going to give you 30
Okay.
for this elk hunt,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Like
I'll take 30.
Just to be
Sounds better.
honest. Maybe it's 40, right?
Okay.
Maybe it's
go there.
maybe it's even 50.
Let's just go 50. Okay.
I don't think it's going to be a 50, but let's just call it a 50.
Okay.
You still got another 35 to go to try to get, and it's very different, right? Like obviously the packing out, all that. A sick of black-tailed deer is not going to be that big, right? You
Right.
could pack it out by yourself. You're going to have
Okay.
65 pounds on your back to pack it out. But you got the muskeg, you got the, you know, all that type of stuff that you have to deal with up in Alaska, the alders and everything, right? Plus you're going to have to go from beach every single day
Yeah. Up. Yeah.
right? So now it's a very different
Yeah.
environment and hunt. So it's
Right.
like this only preps you, like you're trying to get to a certain level by October 15th.
Right.
Well, guess what?
Then you got another
20,
month.
26 days later, you have to turn around and get on a plane to go to Alaska to do something double.
Potentially go.
No, you are going.
We'll see.
Your name's on the contract. You have to go.
I have been told that name can be changed. We'll see. It depends on the time, but like, trust me, I want to go.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think that's cool. Right. I have spent exactly 48 hours in Alaska in my life.
Right.
It was the most ridiculous trip, but it was awesome, and I've always wanted to go back.
And I think I have like 48 days in Alaska this year.
Yeah.
So you
All right.
like you need
You're
to go
cool.
do that.
You're one of the cool kids. We talked
No,
about
I'm
this
not.
the other day.
It's not about being cool. What I'm trying to say, right, is like how do you get better as a hunter? How do you get
Right.
better as, just like an outdoorsman and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff, right? And
Yeah.
understanding it. It's like, okay, you did all the whitetail stuff, you did all the hog stuff, right? Like that was your first season. And now like you're ramping it up a notch. Granted, like you're having to do that pretty damn quick, right?
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have a mule deer or an antelope somewhere in
Yeah.
there and all that, right? Just to
Yeah.
kind of like slow your progression. But you are jumping. I mean, I don't think the Kodiak isn't truly probably an 85,
Okay.
but it's up there.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. If the listener can't tell, right, I'm obviously a novice in hunting and shooting and everything. But I think one of the great things about what I love about Barnes and Sierra and this podcast that we're doing is I get to go on here and like just ask real questions that I have, right? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And so I'm hopeful that it's educational, right? For the listeners.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like I'm going from nothing to 100 here pretty quick, even though it's only at 20 or a 30
Just a
apparently,
20.
right?
Keep that in mind.
I'm going from 0 to 20 pretty quick.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think the people that I'll be with are fantastic. I've heard great things about them. And it's all going to be on film, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to come back and kind of do a debrief
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
Right.
I look forward to that and being able to watch the video, and it'll be cool. I'm excited for you.
We'll see.
Should we do like a Rocky film like between now and when you go up?
Like a training series.
Yeah, like a training series with Andy between working out in your garage.
It's going to be like 5 minutes long. So, I mean, we can.
I mean,
right? But
it could be a
super
5-minute
short.
montage.
Yeah. Just Insta reels.
Yeah, exactly. Just checking in on Andy.
Yeah. No, but I think I am very excited. I think, the gear list and some of these training tips and tricks and, even I'm even thinking to like 2026, right? Like start prepping in the spring,
100%.
It's like getting ready, right? It's all just
Once
about
that
getting
trade show
ready.
season stops.
Oh, yeah. That horrible thing.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. It's shouldn't have said that because I do like going out and getting to listen to what consumers are saying
Right.
and understand all that, right? It's just a grind, right?
Yeah.
From January through April, we're not home.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Right.
So, but no, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Sweet. Well, I'm excited to hear how you feel after it, right? Like, obviously, we won't really be able to catch up much during your training process, other
Right.
than sometime in September, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep the pedal down on you to make sure
Yeah.
that you actually get things done.
Yeah.
And you can't push us off and everything else. So
Yeah, I do expect, knowing Greg, I do expect him to be like, hey, let's go shoot. Like,
Yeah.
let's do this.
And
Like,
I'm going to
he's
give
not gonna let
everybody
me.
your Instagram handle so they can start following you. And then that way that they can like track your progress as well. So you're going to be looking for Andy Sparks.
For the longest time, so Mitchell, he's not here to defend himself, but Mitchell was trying to follow me on Instagram. And my account's private because, I just don't really feel the need to air all that. And for the longest time, I wouldn't accept his like follow request. He's like, why will you not do this? I'm like, my dad doesn't even have access.
Nice.
So it's like, what's the point of having Instagram at that point?
All right. So everybody's just got to drop comments for Andy to read on YouTube and Spotify and everything else. So
That's right. That's right. No, this was fun. I learned a lot. Hope everybody learned a lot or learned something.
well, you're going to learn it when you listen to it 5 more times.
That's right. Because
as well, so.
I got to write down the list of things I need.
That's right. So, all right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time. Hope everybody enjoyed this. And hopefully it also, you're able to learn something if you're going on your first elk hunt this year. So thanks for listening to the podcast.
Can I make one more plug? Drop a comment in where you're listening and let me know what you wish you knew when you did your first elk hunt.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or
I'd
what
like to see
gear you didn't have
Yeah.
that you wish that you would have.
had. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to kill your sign off, but I just thought of that. I was like, I'd like to hear from the masses.
Okay. There we go. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.